JOVA. The JOVA Podcast.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you for dropping in. Thank you for tuning in. This is the JOVA Podcast. And my name is Nkosie Hospice. With me, I'm always rolling. My boy Brian. Come on. Well, yeah, we're trying to get a tagline, right? I like what you. I like what you came up with. You said where creativity meets technique, or something like that, or where technique meets creativity, or something like that. But we're looking for a tagline for the JOVA Podcast. So share your thoughts. We'd really love to know what you guys think. Also rolling with me is my boy Fez. Always. Today we've got a very special guest. Man, I don't know. How long have we go back? Probably, like you're saying, probably 12, 13, 14 years maybe as well. Probably.
Bro, that's just going to expose your age. And
hey,
mine,
we're not young anymore. Probably 15. No, yeah.
Way more, bro. Like
more. 2000
now we're going like to 20 years.
Yeah.
I warned you, bro. That's how bad it is.
20 years.
Yeah,
20
man.
years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a person who once upon a time was an idol, became a mentor, became a friend, and now I consider him a brother.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scelo, Scishh, Mhlanga.
Yeah.
He was busy going on and on now about all his names. Bro, it's an absolute honor to have you on here. When we're speaking about this, and I was telling you that, for me, the most important thing about, when you think about who do you put together, who do you call onto this platform and all that stuff. And for me, it's really about the people that have had so much impact in my musical journey, in my musical growth.
Yeah.
And for that, I'll forever be appreciative of you and the many years you've dedicated to this, bro. How many years have you been doing this thing, dog?
Hi, bro. First of all, thank you. Thank you for having me. Like, I'm a very, very casual person,
I'd say today we're relaxed.
There's so many things that I don't take, to heart and that serious. But thank you for having me. It means a lot, man. I'm a very sentimental person. So when some things, some people, think, they call them small or whatever, but it means a lot to me for you to tell me the impact that I've had, in your musical journey.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for having me, guys. For you to, I don't know if you show up with the person that you invited. I don't know, but thanks, man. It's an honor for me. But yeah, man, like you've mentioned, like we've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah, man.
Known each other for a very long time. When you used to call yourself, people should be very aware of this episode. I think ever since I've known you, you've sang for like 5-7 groups.
Yeah, so many, right?
At some point, there was a group that I'll never forget, but Gunugi Note. Gunugi Note. And I was like, what is that? What is that? It's a lot, but what is it? Then there was
it's for the notes, my brother.
Fifth part of it. Sixth harmony. It's upon the house, but
6 notes.
6 notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, I've known you for a very long time, including your brother as well.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned before, if that's not gonna cut it, that's I've known Mavuso also, almost like at the same time.
Yeah.
But I've known you for close to 20 years, which says a lot about where we come from and for how long we've been trying to do this thing. Well, at some point I don't even know we were aware of what we were doing.
Yeah, that's true.
We were just doing it for the love of the music and church. I mean, of which I don't think I was a huge fan.
Okay.
Of Ukula.
For real?
Nah.
If
I
not,
was not.
then how did you get into it in that sense, man? Because
like
you've been doing it your whole life. So moving from something that you were not so into to doing it your whole
Dog,
life.
I was a football fan.
Yeah? You play?
Yeah.
I've never asked you to play. I know you're like a proper football fan. I've never asked you to
So
play.
when you started that football podcast, I was like, you need me. I know it's football.
No.
And I see you guys talking online.
Talking nonsense.
This guy, they should come. What is this? I'm joking, man. But yeah, I think for most people, if you're raised in the Adventist, community, you're bound to sing at some point, whether you are able to sing or not, whether people think you can sing or not. At some point, you'll find yourself on stage, but you're saying a verse or you're singing. So, it happened a couple of times, but I was not really interested. But then it happened in 2002, I think. With Alex, so we were performing I think it was Central Church of Brixton. I don't remember. So Slangen and Amachita, when they say there's a big group coming, like your No Limits, the Quartet at the time, Emmanuel, they're doing this Sabbath closing things used to be a big thing.
This is a big thing.
And I still remember I was a huge fan of the Quartet. I was a huge fan of No Limits. I was a huge fan of Dube Youth Choir. Before they became Shallow Vine, Dube Choir, I was a huge fan. Abo Simpiwe, Abo Nkosie, and them. Abo Sagza, I was a kid. Used to play for Dube Choir.
Okay.
So I was a huge fan of that. So every time Magubana this Sabbath closing, so if you are a group from that, local church, you have to also sing 1 or 2, 3 songs, whatever. So I still remember the quartet that just come back from the UK, and all of their members remained in the UK. I didn't know. I was not aware. I'm still young, man. Excuse me. So we went on stage in Amachita. I think we just did some quartet music, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever we did. And then immediately after church, I saw Alex coming straight to me. I was shocked. He was with Fagas, FK. Mpomi's dad.
Okay.
Yeah. And Rodney at the time.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, bro, can we speak to you? I'm like, yeah, no, sharp, gents. I'm thinking maybe they just want to say, oh, gents, what you did there. And they're like, okay, Mbana, look, we like you. We like what you do. I don't know if you've heard, but one of our members remained in the UK. So we want you to be part of the quartet. At the time, I remember, my sister-in-law plays the quartet like almost every day at home.
Yeah.
And this guy's asking me to join the quartet. Nah, screw that ish. Sorry. I was like, nah. These guys don't know me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this thing. So I was like, no, thanks. And then we parted ways. So my late brother, who passed away in 2006,
okay,
is married to Utandega Mandlen.
Okay.
So, man, we had a beautiful family. So I still remember she used to work in Vodacom. Vodacom at the time was still blue, blue and white.
Blue and white, yeah.
So I still remember there was no WhatsApp, nothing.
Yeah.
I still remember during the week, she gives me a call. She's like, hey, Scishh. Now, that's the family that gave me the name Scishh.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, Scishh. Alex, Lana. Alex wants to speak to you. They want you. She was screaming over the phone. They want you part of the quartet. I'm like, man, shut up. You're playing. I like Scishh. He is coming tonight at home, so we need to cook and whatever. They want to come speak to us because I was still a child. I was still a young boy at the time. Like, Alex wants you to join, so he wants to come and speak to us to get permission that you become whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Later, Alex pitches with his family after work. Like, we had a proper conversation. It's like, Scelo Mfana, we need you. We liked what we saw, whatever. And I was like, didn't you see about Brian and them at Santin there? What are you talking about? Why are you bothering me? This singing thing is your thing, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed singing with the boys. We used to go to Blue Hills, by the way, in Amachens. With the boys, Abomboots, whatever. Before Beyond Vocals. So we used to go and just do that quartet music, whatever. That's what I enjoyed. And we're just having a good time as young boys,
I remember we had a group, El Shaddai or something.
Yeah.
El Shaddai, I remember El Shaddai.
Yeah. Which was constantly changing members.
Yeah.
As long as you are there, you are in.
Yeah, in.
Because you need to go sing for the girls there. You know? So, yeah, man. And that's how it happened. Then Alex was really, if all of you guys know Alex, Alex was a really passionate some boy. You know, he was, when he wants something done, he makes sure he gets it done. He puts everything to it. He makes time. So I really felt, which, you know, he really wanted this to happen. Yeah. And that's how I developed a very close relationship with Alex. He believed in me so much. Yeah. Something that I never really saw in me, to be very honest with you. You know, I never saw anything of what he saw in me. Sure. You know. And then I still remember my first rehearsal, bro, like I was sweating. If you remember back in the day, The Quartet was a big brand. It was a big quartet.
Huge, bro.
It was a huge brand. So I still remember my first rehearsal, I was shaking, bro. Like, man, this thing, even these songs are high, man. Hey, I'm a crook man, why this guy's bothering me and everything. So I do 1, 2, 3 rehearsals. We were then, I think, he wanted to make me feel comfortable. He went back and organized like a Sabbath closing at Brixton Church. I still remember this. I know you're going to go back and sing to the people that you've been singing to, whatever. And I remember it was a big thing. I remember back in the day, my Sabbath closing used to be filled up.
It used to be a huge thing, man. That is crazy.
And I still remember we performed there, and that's when it sank in with, so now I'm part of the quartet. Oh, man, you know, it was a big thing, a big hoo-ha from family and everyone. Yeah. And then that's how the whole thing started. That's when during that period, I got to know you, you know, and we started like, you know, I think 2 or 3 years after that, we changed the name.
Black Mustard, yeah.
Why? Because I'm a crook man. Hey, there were issues there. And that's when Mpomi's dad, FK, left. And then Du joined. Okay. Du joined as, according to me, at the time, one of the best baritone. Bro. Du is a music genius.
Bro, listen. Shout out to the Granger family. Rest in peace, Alex Granger, man. Like
Granger.
A legend.
I owe it to. I owe everything to
a legend, man.
I owe it to
a legend. And I think like there's so many people that can sit on these chairs that we're sitting here on today and have a story about Alex, you know, that are involved in music, and you know the legacy of what, you know, what they started, what they built, and what has developed into what has been it's a lifelong legacy, bro. Definitely. How many years is it now?
Absolutely.
Collectively, it's probably over close to 30, 30 something years, you know, collectively. Yeah. So, and it's such a crazy legacy that spans over such a long period of time, and you know, to be a visionary and someone who, you know, is very passionate, you know, about that. That's quite something. Left a real impact. That's crazy. So you say, what influenced the change? I'm interested. I'm sorry. Yeah. The name change from The Quartet to Black Mustard Seed.
Granger, you know, is my man. Is my guy, and I'm just gonna say it as it is. Granger didn't like nonsense, dog. Like, when he felt like people were just being too much, he wanted to come up with something that will, you know, when you want to get back at someone. No, also, you want to own the name The Quartet, I'm going to come up with a different name, Black Mustard Seed. Let's go with that. Stelz, he used to call me Mr. Stelz. Yeah. Stelz, let's go with that, you know. At the time, it was me, him, Du, and Rodney.
And Rodney, yeah.
So, Mr. Stelz, let's rock. Black Mustard Seed. We do the same thing. Black Mustard Seed records an album. It comes out, nice, whatever. We go around doing the normal church concerts or whatever. Yeah. And then after that, Rodney leaves the group. He doesn't like the name anymore.
They changed it again.
Not only that, he leaves the group.
Jeez.
Leaves the group. We're left with the three of us. And then, you know, Rodney asked us to call. I think at time, that's when your brother.
Okay.
That was hey, my boots.
So that's the story.
There was a time with Rov.
All the way to Pretoria.
Now this guy wants me to go against my guy who's Granger. We drove all the way to Pretoria where they had, my Pathfinder, whatever, and on Sunday.
Yeah.
He was there, his brother was there,
Yeah.
to go convince Nkosie, Umta,
yeah.
to sing first tenor because Granger had left. I still remember this very well. It was a Sunday. We spoke to your brother.
Yeah.
He was cool, but for some reason, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
During the week, God knows, like a distance, whatever. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's going to be
Didn't
complex,
work
really.
out. And then Black Mustard Seed died, literally.
Oh, so that's what happened. Because I was always like wondering what happened. Because like y'all recorded the album and bro, like, that is, in my books, one of the best quartet albums we'll get in a while, dog.
To me,
bro, hear me out.
I don't know.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
With Black Mustard Seed, and man, wait. Also, okay, it's fine. We'll ask that later. Where is that music? Because it's not online anything, but
It's not.
bro. The thing is, the quartet was known for a certain style. Obviously, that was due to the era.
Yeah.
But I think when y'all emerged as Black Mustard, and it was like. That was like what, the mid 2000s, like late 2000s actually.
Yeah.
2006, 7, 8?
No. It was actually 2005.
Yeah, but when was the album released?
Yeah, 2005.
2005.
2005.
Yes, 2005. So at that time, there was like a new style that was, coming in. Everyone is coming with a new vibe. I feel like, the albums that were produced between, 2000 and 2010, were something else, bro.
Yeah.
If you look at the music that No Limits produced, the music that Emmanuel produced, the albums, most of that era had just a shifting from before.
Yeah.
The kind of sound and era of before. And so I think it's a quartet music that had never been experienced. And unfortunately, after Black Mustard Seed died, has never been experienced again.
I don't know. Well, thank you, if that's what you think and feel. But Joe, I'm not trying to be humble or anything like that, bro. Mina, what people say about that, I don't feel it. I understand. To me, it was. I don't know if you guys experience this every time you record. And Mina, I've always been a person. It has nothing to do with confidence or anything like that. I've always been a person who's never satisfied about how I see. Because in my mind, I've always had this thing, I don't think I was ever meant to be a musician.
Okay.
I understand. I've always had that thing.
Yeah.
It hits me every now and then, like, whatever, man. But I hear you, and you're not the first person. Recently, I got a call from Tembel, from No Limits.
Yeah.
He was talking about the same thing,
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, but I felt like I was still a little boy. My voice had not even broken, it had not broken, it had really not broke, Joe. I felt like I was just singing, Mautula as a young boy from church. It irritates me to listen to that.
I hear you.
But I appreciate that. And at the time, obviously, shout out to Abantu Abafana Nabo Khumza. Khumza gents changed the game, I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care who's going to listen to this and say whatever. In No Limits, through Kace, influenced the whole of Southern Africa as far as mixed group music is concerned. Everyone, the impact, every mixed group that came together wanted to sing like No Limits, if not trying to compete with No Limits.
Yep.
They had a serious impact. And like you're saying, maybe quartet music, Black Mustard Seed was probably there at the time, whatever. But shout out to Kace, Joe.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out to Khumza, Ikhutman, that we need to give we need to give him his flowers.
That's true.
And I feel like our church, bro, lost on an opportunity to help musicians make money. People like Abu Khumza with the time and dedication that they gave to the Adventist church. And the Adventist church actually owes Khumza. some, a serious credit and flowers because of the impact it had. There's this thing there in our church where music is not taken seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why and where it comes from. I'm not the guy who's going to come with solutions or whatever, but we found it like this.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to change it,
It's crazy.
Yeah, but thank you for...
It's crazy that you say that. They were actually talking about this when with the homes.
Yeah.
To say, at the same time, somehow, some way, if
may I some respect.
Hey,
he's now prof.
Hey, prof.
Doctor.
Yes, please. You understand?
Prof, and everything.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Bro, the thing is, if we don't, in some way, speak about it, and because that's another thing, it's been a thing which, if I'm honest with myself, we speak about it, but it's like a conversation that's had under tables.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not something that is actually organized, and we take it as a concern, as an organized group to say, look, guys, this is the kind of impact that we've had outside of the space that is supposed to be a safety net for our art and for us to be able to express ourselves and what we do, instead of having to go to different places and end up doing different things at some points that maybe even the church can look at and judge and look down upon at certain points. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why not look at it in a different way? And sometimes it might not be the church structure that we need per se, but maybe those who will be supporters of a structure that even we can, if we want, put together. If we have the willpower and the I guess that thing of being able to come together and put together an organization. Because for me, it puzzles me how many successful vocal groups come from Seventh-day Adventist backgrounds, worldwide. Worldwide.
Yeah.
But there is still no, let's leave the church structure organization, but people who see this are supporters of this, but still feel like there's nothing that can be done. Why is music going to be looked at or perceived as something that needs to be dealt with by other people? And Tina, this is what is the most important thing for us. So I think in some way, maybe the time has come that at least we start thinking about it, which is what we're doing now, thinking about it, having conversations, being able to put stuff like this out onto the public domain, and people can have conversations about what alternatives are there. If the church structure within itself feels like there is no importance to this music thing, then cannot the people who are invested or who believe in this, who might not be the creatives themselves, because in an organization, we need everything. We need the creatives, we need the visionaries, we need those that have the financial pocket backing to come in and do the thing. So maybe it is time for us to start thinking and kind of putting it out there in the public domain to say, we need to start having these conversations. Can we come together and come to some sort of consensus in how can we set up some sort of structure that can support musicians within the church? Because it can't be something that we cry about for 50 years plus.
Look, my 2 cents, contribution is that if we want to have those conversations, we need to have them honestly. We need to have honest conversation. We can't just have a conversation, but we need to be honest. When we have those conversations, we can't keep blaming the church or the people. You understand? Man, this thing is very simple for me, bro. When Ringo, Zonke, or whoever has a show and people feel like they can take out money to go watch them, and they can't watch, maybe they don't want to watch, I don't know, any Adventist group, you know what I mean? Not use name in case people are going to say, why are we catching strays? you need to be honest as to why.
Yeah.
And the answer, according to me, this is what I think. Music is not just vocal.
Okay.
Music is performance. People buy into art. You know, they buy into entertainment. So sometimes they get too spoiled when they grow up in the Adventist church where they are used to people singing, such that they don't want to pay for that anymore. They want to pay to watch people sing and perform, and they are given a show. So Nati, maybe, as you know, the Adventist groups, those who are still in church, when you feel like you need remuneration from that, you should put together a craft, an act, a production, where when people watch it, like, oh, they're not gonna say, "Did you hear how Brian sings?" They're gonna say, "You need to watch Brian." So maybe we need to put together stuff that people will feel like we need to pay for this because they're too spoiled for vocal. They've been listening to vocals for as long as you can remember. You know, we are making it difficult for people at church. We need to put together entertainment. People need to,
But
people need to feel like I am paying. Gents, we are spoiled for voices. We've been hearing voices all our lives from when we were kids. But the reason why people go and pay for a theater production, Umoja, you know, they go pay for Uzonke, they go pay for Joyas, whoever. Mind is a spirit of praise. When they don't get the same experience because we think Tina music is just voices. It's entertainment. It's a complete package. You know, people remember how you made them feel when you were on stage, performing, presentation, production. That's why people feel like they can take out money for that. I was saying offline with you, if Brian is a preacher on the day and you want to get paid because you sing, he's going to say, but I can also sing, bro. But it's different when he says, but I can perform. You can't.
because now preachers outperform musicians.
Preachers outperform. When he's on stage, you feel like you're watching a documentary or a movie. And you still remember how you made you feel and what he said. But all these things that he says is accompanied by how he was presenting and how he was performing. So it's not about the words. You can say the same thing and he says the same thing, but it lands different because of how he said. You know, and music and performance is like
the same
that.
thing.
It's the same thing. People from our church, Chris Brown filled up F&P Stadium. He hardly sang, singing here and then, people singing along, but he performed for the people. He gave them an experience.
Flying everywhere.
Flying. And some pastors were flying the next day. You know, there's videos. Now that's impact, Joe. That's how much you see, how much of a brand you are. People are flying in churches.
Because you were flying at the stadium.
Chris Brown was flying. They don't talk about... show me a tweet where people say, oh, Chris Brown's voice at FNP was dope. No one speaks about Chris Brown's voice. But Usomis even went online and say, Chris Brown gave us a show.
A performance.
The showmanship of Chris Brown. So music is a complete package. Tinas Bambima, it's not enough if you want to get paid.
If you don't want to get paid, you can stay there.
Especially now that there's auto-tune and everything. Anyone who can sing, can record and we fix it.
And to sound good. Anyone can sound good now.
Definitely. There's AI also.
That can work in real time. Someone who sing now, what you'll hear is perfect.
But what AI can't do
is perform.
Is the authenticity of Nkosie Hospice and him on stage and performing. AI can't do that. Like, it can't take that away from you.
Yeah, that is something. So I think the biggest thing the biggest thing in the conversation of being able to monetize our craft, let's say from the church point of view, is that we honestly need to offer a higher value proposition.
Let's make it worth it.
Then because the gospel is everywhere. The gospel is in the Bible. The gospel is in people's homes. It's on their phones. It's on YouTube. but you can sing the same song, but you need to sing it in a way that's going to make me feel some way.
People have Bibles, but they still go to church.
They can read it on their own, but they want to go hear someone else read it.
Yes, they still go to church.
Because they read it
Mhlanga
well.
is preaching.
He reads it
He's probably going to say the same verse that you know, but he's probably going to make you understand it the way you never thought you did. So it's the same thing with music, Joe. I mean, I always say to people, human beings, here's the thing about human beings, they will go to a show, but they want to leave feeling different. They know your music. They'll probably sing along. But what they will remember is not how you were singing, but how you made them feel when you were on stage and the experience and the memories. I was saying to someone that music is the only thing, Brian, that is a time traveler. Music is the only thing that is a time traveler. Music is the only thing that can make you cry right now. You listen to a song, it takes you to a certain day, certain year back in the day where you experienced the loss of someone or whatever, good or bad. Music is the only thing that is a time travel. I can take you there.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, and you experience it, you feel it. That's why they say music is a healer. You understand? Because your body cells can be reminded the moment it hears that music, and it takes them back to the time when that thing happened, and you feel exactly that, like that. So it's actually, but in Brian, what's the English word? I want to be English. It's actually whatever, but it's the truth. That's what music does. It makes you. It takes you to that place.
Takes you places.
It takes you to that. Music is the only. For me, is the only time traveler, and we need to handle it very carefully. And I feel we handle it very recklessly.
So, in connection with what I was saying before, we had to we got cut off. That then the solution with that is, before we even look outward to say what's the problem with the structure and all that, we need to look inward into what it is that we're doing, how we're putting it together. Is it something that is then worth saying this is the value that we're putting into? Obviously, you can't put worth to it, I mean, very delicately. But like I was saying, there needs to be some sort of extra effort, because worse off we're in a space like what you're saying, that everyone can sing. Bro, probably in our church, every 3 out of 5 can sing really well. So what then makes you stand out from that other? So I think those are some good things.
And also, I don't think, Nkosie, we're trying to make ourselves stand out, because there's always an audience for everyone. Everyone always has someone that they think is dope. I might think Mavuso is dope, and someone else says, I don't think so. Cool, fine, we move on. But how many times have we played our Adventist music and our neighbors came? But when you play Rebecca, they relate. When you play Benjamin Dube and Spirit of Praise, you worship together. How many times at a club or wherever, in an event where they're playing secular music, and the moment they drop a gospel song, everyone relates? How many times do you play your Adventist music and people come, I'm a neighbor wako? Chances are they only come to what they think they can relate to answer you. It's the same thing. What is it that makes us stand out? What is it that we miss? Because, honestly, I'm going to be very honest. I think we lack honesty in our music and being genuine in presenting. The music is flat. Everything is together. The harmonies are on point. But there's no authenticity. There's no emotion that can speak to the next person, So to me, if you ask me, that's one of the answers. Because there's people, there's this boy who was called by Spirit of Praise, who used to sing S3E2, like at a taxi rank. He sang that song,
okay,
you remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
he was called, and he was made part of the Spirit of Praise.
Yeah.
And that video, ranking, it's about 15 or 10 seconds. I don't know till today. Every time I bump onto that video, I played more than 10, 15 times, 20 times. because you want to hear his voice because it comes from here. I feel like sometimes our music, there's no emotion, there's no passion. It's on point. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't speak to the people. You know, we don't walk away thinking like that music touched me. We always speak about how tight the harmonies were. Do you know what then that means? It does then the music bring people closer to Christ? Does the music make people, think about their lives and stuff? Does it speaks? Does it speak into thinking about whether or not they should fix stuff about themselves? So personally, I feel like that's why the spirit that lingers in some of these shows that we put together is not a spirit that brings people closer to God, or it becomes a thing of those harmonies were tight. Don't get me wrong, we all like harmonies, it's dope. But at the end of the day, does it speak to the soul? You understand? Sometimes, Mavuso, more is less, or less is more. And sometimes
more is less. The opposite is true.
yeah. And sometimes just because you do less doesn't mean you know more. You know less. You can know more and do less. So people mustn't mistake you doing less in thinking that you know less. Because sometimes less has a more impact.
That is something. Hey, we're too deep now. So let's have a deep. This episode was supposed to be deep.
No. No,
but no, we need to. Yeah.
Because now we're talking about the impact of music, right?
Yeah.
And your proximity to Alex Rangers.
Yeah.
He had 2 albums.
Yeah.
2 solo albums. Just your opinion, the first album and the second album. What do you think the difference is?
Unfortunately, I didn't listen to the second album. I think I listened to 1 or 2 songs. But knowing Alex as a person, I think Alex was going through a period where he was maturing even more in music, where music was no longer about pleasing people, but more expressing himself in whatever he was going through spiritually. So whether you think what he released was dope or not, but he was singing his heart. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I think there was Alex back in the day where he needed to, make a point with, I can put chords together, I can put an arrangement together, I can show you how this is done, But there's something about, that happens the older you become, where everything becomes mature and you reflect, you're like, no, this is more about what I'm going through and, his spiritual journey. And I think the reason why you're asking me this, Brian, is because I'm sure you can even feel it.
The second album, I really picked that up. I listened to the first album.
Yeah.
And I could tell he was trying to be technical.
Yeah. And then it
using
switched.
a formula.
Yeah.
Second album.
Yeah.
And even the, when he released it, and then soon after, not very long after, after that show,
he passed.
Exactly.
And even then, that's the title of the album.
Yeah.
To my heart. I mean, when you listen to those songs,
I hear you, bro.
Really, there's such a huge difference between the first album and the second album.
Yeah.
Even like that song he did for Emmanuel's last album.
Yeah.
The song he wrote
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
Bro, that song, like every time it plays, I have to play it again. And I noticed when I went to their concert, that song is one of the most loved songs. People were singing along to that song. Like you could hear that.
Sure.
This is
And that brings me to something, like in terms of us probably thinking about the music, like what you're saying, more technically than it is supposed to be just about self-expression. Not to say that we're throwing away the technicality,
No.
but how do you then best use that your technicality to express what it is, but from a place that can appeal emotionally and spiritually?
I'm gonna get a backlash for some of the things I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Brian, you can never teach gents. There's a reason why God gives people gifts and talents. You can never teach gift. You can never teach a gift. Because the moment you start teaching a gift, you're messing it up. It doesn't become authentic. Do you realize that music is the only thing that exists everywhere? An ad has music for it to condition you to remembering that advert. News has music. Everything that you experience has music. When you walk into a bank, there's music playing in the background. So music is too spiritual such that the more you tamper with it, you affect the authenticity and the impact it will have to the right audience. You understand? So I feel naughty in the process of that. There used to be a day in the Adventist community back in the day, Nkosie, where when a group does a transition from one key to the other, people scream and they lose their minds. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Key change.
Yeah, key change.
Hey.
Too much. Amen.
It's a lot.
Thank you, Lord.
And I think
it's true.
with time, that gets lost. And we focus on something that you don't remember how it makes you feel, but you can remember how it sounds. Not how it makes you feel. Understand? And a perfect example, two people on stage, a preacher and a musician. If a preacher's sermon was flat, you won't remember. But if a preacher spoke to you with something that you're going through, you will remember. You will remember.
That's
You understand?
so true,
so even and there's something, kids and old people are the most honest when it comes to music. They will come to you with they're not necessarily talking to your voices or whatever. They're talking to how you make them feel when you sing. The place where you take them. Fana ne hit. Maze siye emhlabeni going to the world. Every child who sings that song outside here, it's a hit.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily about the lyrics. It's about the progression and the notes and how it's easy for the child to remember and sing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is that simple.
Less is more. Okay, let's pick it up from where you guys have now transitioned from Black Master. No, Black Master Seed dies. That's where we left it. The group collapses. Then where does Beyond Vocal come? Where does the story of Beyond Vocal start? Because that's the next chapter.
We had actually stopped singing completely. So yeah, there was no group, nothing whatsoever. It was 2008. Yeah. I was at work. I get a call. Granger's like, Stills, I want to start a group. I'm like, here we go again. I already have a name. I'm going to say, okay, cool. I was like, look, it's going to be me. It's going to be myself, you, Nomdu. But who's going to be the fourth guy? We need a bass. Yeah. There's a guy called Willard. I don't know if you
Willard, yeah. I know well.
Then Granger's like, no, let's start the three of us. Then we're going to look for a bass.
Okay.
I've spoken to Khumza, Utikona someone Amazi, I couldn't know Willard. I think at the time Willard used to go to Orlando or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. And then the name is, he gave me two names. I don't remember the other name, but he said Beyond Vocal.
Okay.
And then he did say why Beyond Vocal. And then he started explaining it. Like Stills, myself, you, Nomtu have been friends for a very long time. And we've went through a lot from thee to Black Mustard Seed and now Beyond Vocal. It means what we have is beyond the music.
Okay.
So it's beyond.
It's beyond
vocal. We are friends. We are brothers. So Granger to me was like a brother. So I was like, beyond vocal. I'm like, I like it. Let's rock. Did you call and do? Call and do an shout. And then that's how Beyond Vocal starts. We released that first album that I don't like. Sorry. I don't like. I think we did some Gator song there.
Yeah, I remember that Gator song. So on that album, Will is doing bass.
Who? We. Yeah.
Why did I always think that Mtu was singing bass on that album?
No. Mtu is probably one of the best baritone. I don't care what people say.
No. I'm with you on that one, my brother.
Mtu.
I'm with you on that one.
He's like one of the best.
And can I say, sorry, can I
and
go
most
back?
Most of us, I should give Brian Mavuso, because we should give credit to ourselves. Gents, we never went to school for this thing. We are autodidacts in this thing. We're self-taught. We figured our way into this thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, without anyone telling you, when you call this note, this is what it is. This is what it's called. I don't even know. I can't read music to save my life. But I can write. I can arrange. I can come up with dope shit. I can come up with dope ideas. Young mom. Dope ideas that are simple but have a serious impact. You're like, how did you come up with that? And like, it's me, my brother. That's why they call me Scishh.
Say it in a dream.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, so I'll go back to Black Mustard.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why I'm a baritone, natural baritone singer.
Baritone.
Bro, no. Wainyukunya. If you can understand. That baritone was, I think that's one of the things that made that album stand out for me. Just also the versatility in all the music. I think also, I there was, Granger never sang first tenor in V, ne?
You know, he did.
He
Granger was the first tenor.
Was the first tenor in V.
He was the first tenor up until, even Black Mustard City was singing first tenor.
Yeah, singing first tenor.
Who did you thought I was singing first tenor?
Yeah, who did I think was singing?
Mama Trucks.
Should I think someone else sing first tenor?
Do you think who else was going to sing first tenor? Me? No, bro. I can't go high to save my life.
But like the approach of how even he was going about how he was singing the first, and I think also just the melody, also how the melodies were being constructed and stuff like that. You know, I think it was just for me very well put together and well thought out. When I listen back at it, even at this time, I can look back at it and be like, okay, this is something that feels to me that was well thought out, well put together.
I honestly, I can listen to that album. I think I enjoyed putting that together. I think it was my first recording with. Well, it was the quartet, but it changed when we started recording, when we became Black Mustard City. It was my first time in studio like that, where we were recording. And damn, to a certain extent, I don't like the fact that I was in a quartet setup for a very long time, because it affected me big time. You know, there's nothing as difficult as singing as like singing in a quartet setup. People don't know how it affects you, like psychologically, even the way you think about music, because you need to lead at the same time.
Harmonize.
You know, and the moment you become 5 and 6, you're given freedom to express yourself. It's difficult because you don't know how to do it, because you've always been a guy who makes sure that second tenor is there and it harmonizes. And Granger was a guy. My arrangement wake, where like at some point in the song you're singing baritone, in out of baritone, first tenor and second tenor, but you're still singing second tenor. So it was probably one of the most difficult, but you know, amazing experiences. You know, singing with Alex and that album that you mentioned.
That album, crazy.
It was really dope. But I wish I grew up in a Sunday church, and I'm joking.
For the music.
For the music. There was a lady who got a backlash, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
She's Adventist. I'm going to remember her name because I want to put her on blast, because she told the truth. It's like, Adventist guys don't know how to ad-lib and lead. And then people put names on social media. So I was like, I even knows what. I'm saying those people, they don't know. And it's not their fault. It's because of how we are raised.
The culture is just different.
And obviously, she was comparing to the Sunday people, people from the Sunday churches and stuff. But, I mean, also, we can't put a blast on ourselves too much because not we bring something into the music industry. Now, but at the same time, they bring something that we don't have. And when that comes together, something like the muffins happens.
That's true. But now with Beyond Vocal, what for me became exciting was the movement sort of like the transformation. Because obviously when you guys came back, Beyond Vocal, obviously the first album, of course, you all quartet. But then when you came back with the second album, it was like a revamped, new look, Beyond Vocal. You guys had 5 members. And and it was all different. Remember, Lisanse just joined. Yes.
Good time.
And I felt like there was such a huge...
Hey, brother. Sorry.
There's such a huge change because also I think that was a time where I remember you guys being involved a lot like with Spirit of Praise projects and all of that.
Yeah.
So maybe bring us into that time. What happens when you guys release Hold On and it was just a mess after that?
So this is what happened. Brian Mavuso, because you'll get to know this for the first time.
All right.
How
This
the
is
whole
what we want.
transition of Beyond Vocal came about. The whole Beyond Vocal transition from the quartet music to it was not easy. And Granger never liked that.
Okay.
So if you remember 2010 when Lisansa came, he came, I think he came 2009. Yeah. He came 2009. We wanted to do 5 parts, but our 5 parts in some songs had to have beatbox. The first time we started doing music with beatbox. Not only that, we started experimenting with Sunday church music. Why? Because we used to go Sundays. We used to go to your Rhema, is this church on the N1? What New Life? New Life, and all these other Sunday churches. This one in Kempton Park, Hope Restoration.
Okay.
We actually performed at Hope when they were still in a tent. Now it's a big church.
Okay.
So that's how it came about. Granger was not a fan of Sunday church music because he felt it was too ordinary and not, well arranged, the usual, whatever. We're like, no, let's try this.
Yeah.
Granger was not a fan. Like, okay, that's how we did He Will Bless Your Name, which was my idea.
Yeah.
That song we did with the Benjamin.
Yes.
I came up with that idea of putting together a medley. And that someone should do beatbox. And we tried to do that Sunday church music.
Yeah.
So I did come up with that arrangement with the assistance, obviously, of Umdu, and Luke Granger on the chord work. Umbuso, because Mbuso loves like traditional gospel. He's a fan. He's a huge fan.
Okay.
Mbuso actually came up with the Pindukulume medley.
Okay.
He's the one who came up with that. So I did the We Bless Your Name, and we started performing, and it became a song that was,
that was such a huge song, man.
So I came up with that idea, and it worked. And I said to Granger, you see, it works. Because now, not only was it working at church, even now when we go to Sunday churches, it's easy for them to say, okay, we also know this. Yeah. This is our stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and here and there, Latin cause there, chord, nyana.
And then
the fusion.
Exactly.
The fusion was everything.
It was easy for them, for the Sunday people, to then accept because they already know the music. Yeah. Now they, appreciate the chord work and everything and the music. Yeah. And then that's the time we were then called 2010 to come and be part of Spirit of Praise.
Okay, so you were like signed to the label?
Yes, we were.
Okay.
We were signed. When we did the first Beyond Vocal album with Willard, because Willard left. Okay. And then that's how Uli Sansa came. And then we said, you know what, Mr. Granger, Mbuso is a dope. According to me, Mbuso is probably one of the best first tenors. You know, I know. You know, respect. Gents, I sing with probably one of the, like, according to me, gents.
Be very careful of your next claim. Be very careful.
I sing with probably like most diverse. And when we come together, something special happens. Mbuso is probably one of the best first tenors, according to me. And I love and appreciate him. And we say to Granger, not that you're not a good first tenor, but when Mbuso comes, let Mbuso take first tenor and you go to baritone. So in that setup with Double Lisanse, Granger was singing baritone.
Singing baritone, yeah.
So Mbuso came through to the family because we had always been friends and we were singing together. He became a part of Beyond Vocal, and that was the beginning of the Beyond Vocal brand. With Lisanse and Granger, and then we invited to a Spirit of Praise. When we went to Iriezal, we were going to perform as Beyond Vocal, Sisod. And then when we performed, Benjamin Dube was there, Zaza was there, and it so happened that in the medley, their songs were there. So we're like, what if Zaza, you come and do Mbuso after he does the first part, you do the second part, you're part of the medley, and then Dapenji. Then like, okay, I'll come and bring my weight. So much respect for Benjamin Dube, who has been a friend of the band and he has always supported Beyond Vocal, man. We performed at his church so many times. That was the beginning of us getting to the industry, gospel industry, that is at the time. We performed that. It was part of Spirit of Praise. It became a big thing. When the DVD came out, it was a big thing for us. You know, I remember, rest in peace to Uyanki. Sipo Kalen. He was very supportive, you know. We did so many interviews with, he used to work for the radio station, Radio Pulpit. We did so many, he loved what we were doing. I still remember when we got nominated, Crown Gospel Awards, up against Abangovi. We knew obviously it was rigged. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm joking, but I was rigged.
The Crown Gospels are tough.
I'm kidding, man.
These awards are tough.
But yeah, man, that song on its own, that's when it gave us a direction, you know. But we were still doing gospel at the time. And,
bro, but that was so crazy because I feel like I think within the space of, you know, what we do and where we come from, I think Beyond Vocal was probably one of the most successful crossover groups into that side of the gospel industry, like kind of completing the game, you know what I'm saying? Having that kind of impact. Because like I was saying, that song, bro, how many places and spaces, just that medley, how many doors did that medley just open, you know what I'm saying? Just with that thought or idea of taking it a different direction, you know what I'm saying?
So much, man.
And I think, and very much, I think, kind of same story because we kind of followed in y'all's footsteps. And once you get exposed to the gospel industry a lot, then you just see to just switch over and jump into the big pool. Although the pool, you know, the wider music industry is quite, a deeper one full of sharks and all of that. But that was like y'all's next transition in your music journey. So at what point does it get to where you say, okay, gents, now this one is fine. We're going this direction.
No, I think the first thing that I need to mention, before we do all of that, Nkosana joins. I had always been a fan of Nkosana as a vocalist. And what people don't know, it was very strange. Lisanse had to leave and go to the UK. And no Alex, we had to talk about a replacement. You know? And I was like, look, there's a guy that we know. Myself, Mtu, and Mbuso. Now there's a guy that we know, Nkosana. Because we knew Shallow Vine. And like, we need a fifth guy. We never knew rather that Nkosana can do beatbox.
Okay.
We didn't know, nothing whatsoever. He was just a replacement.
That's crazy.
And then Nkosana comes through. we discover when he's there that he can actually beatbox. I was like,
perfect replacement.
and then
that worked out so well, bro.
we performed S3E2. I think there's a video on YouTube where we performed, the 6 of us. Nkosana was, Mavuso was there. That's S3E2. Yeah.
You were in Nkosana's audition.
Yeah. So,
wow, bro.
So yeah, that's how Nkosana, probably to me, one of the most gifted vocalists in this country. I love him. He's my boy, man. He's dope. He's special, man. He's special.
Too much.
He's kind. You can't just bump onto his kind, anywhere and everywhere. And then he joins Beyond Vocal. And that's when we see what the direction that we wanted to take. Vele needed someone like him. When Lisanse left, was also my boy. Like, we still keep contact. He still supports the band. Shout out to him, Lisanse.
Hey,
the G.
The real G.
I think, gents, he's one guy who gave us that. But in English, that he made us become liberal. On stage.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah. He had that energy.
Bro, quick story about Lisanse. The first time I watched these guys perform Lisanse, they come to our church, 2009.
Yeah.
Bro. Divine service.
Yeah.
At church. Here's Lisanse. They're chilling there. I think you were singing Live on that arrangement. Then, bro, you're going to this chord. Then from nowhere, here's Lisanse with a towel in his hand. He had a white towel in his hand.
And he had dreadlocks and stuff.
My brother would remember. White towel. Then this guy go, bro, you would not believe how bonkers we went. I was like, what is this, bro? It was revolutionary. I think you're right. In terms of that direction, it was so instrumental to have Lisanse there, even just with his performance style, his voice.
It was the right people at the right time who helped Beyond Vocal, go into that shift. It was like from above, man. It was spiritual. We were pushed into that direction by God. And the fact that the replacement Lisanse becomes a guy who does exactly what he does.
Same thing. Yeah.
NK in his own special way. It was just ordained, man. Lisanse his energy is unmatched, man. He's unmatched.
Crazy energy.
And NK is a bit more chilled, man. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But he gives it everything. He's the best, man, at what he does. So then Beyond Vocal comes together with TK.
Yeah.
TK comes through because now we were 4, but we needed a 5th member. Why? Because Alex was now leaving the group.
Okay.
Alex leaves the band.
That's wild.
And he leaves the band, during that transition that, Nkosana joined the group, and she didn't really approve of some things, whatever. It's just boys, man, being boys.
Yeah.
We had a misunderstanding. He left the band, and then TK joined.
Okay.
TK joins Beyond Vocal. And then we went into that, and we sat on that. And then for a very long time, I'm sure it's a question that you're going to ask. We did gospel. And then this one fateful day, we get a gig to perform at a corporate gig.
Okay.
In 2011, I think. 2011, 2012. Around about that time.
Okay.
That's after doing our Expresso, after doing our Spirit of Praise and all this, after doing our, what's that show that put us on blast on Facebook? Afro Cafe. It put us on blast, Afro Cafe, because we sang a love song. Am I like, duh, you play love songs and love whatever.
Love music,
in your cars and in your homes.
Come on,
we sing about love. Are you not in love? What's wrong?
We all experience
relax.
Relax. God is love. Come on.
God, thank you.
God is love.
So TK joins, we do all of that. And then we do this corporate gig. And we meet Atama Fokat.
Okay.
We had, obviously, if you remember back in the day, we had started singing. The reason why we started getting into trouble in Masabaten, we used to sing about About West Sam during like like gospel.
Yeah.
No, like gospel shows. I still remember in Pretoria this one time. Attacks.
We
sang West Sam and it was a problem. So we had started doing that.
Yeah.
You know. And then we were called to do this corporate gig. So we had a repertoire of about 3, 4, 5 songs, whatever. We went and performed and we met to Arthur Mafokat. You know?
That's
we
wild.
met to Arthur, but we never really kept contact.
Okay.
I understand. Because after that, there was a Soweto derby. And then this other lady, I've forgotten her name, and who called me to come be a soccer analyst. There was still ANN7. I think it became Newsroom Africa.
Newsroom Africa, yeah.
It was ANN7 at the time.
Yeah.
I was called to come and be a soccer analyst.
Okay.
And Arthur was doing that show. And then I met to Arthur. He's like, no, man, I remember the boys that sing. Arthur's like, oh, is it? And then we exchanged numbers. And then it's like, no, we need to work. And then he started like booking us, you know, doing corporate work. But then Arthur he was doing can do shows.
Yeah.
Where he was doing this Lama Batin activation and doing obviously shows where he was booking Abo Mandoza, Abo Zola, Abo Shimza. First time we met with Shimza and Abo Zola, we were actually working with Art.
Okay.
And we had to perform as an a cappella group.
That's wild.
In those spaces.
That's wild.
New Year's Eve, Mary Fitzgerald in Newtown. You had to go on stage and perform. Whether you perform a gospel song, whatever, Arthur heard what you do and he loves it. It's like go on stage. And we need to give credit to Arthur Mafokat.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah.
we did that.
Yeah.
The JOVA Podcast.